Welcome to Business Connection. I'm Liz Spencer. Hey, I have Bill, the mortgage guy from Avenue Mortgage with me, and he's here to tell me all about mortgage, and you're my guy, so I think that's great. So tell me a little bit about how you got known as the mortgage guy.
So the mortgage guy, I've been doing mortgages for about 20 years. And one of my first clients is an Italian guy over in Elmhurst, and he would refer to me as, hey, you got to meet my mortgage guy, my mortgage guy, my mortgage guy. So all of a sudden, I started doing loans for his whole family, and that's how they referred to me. And it's been great ever since, and I just took hold of it. So I use it for social media. I have it on my Instagram account. I had a blog that was called Bill the Mortgage Guy, but it just stuck. And so people just know me as, hey, this is what I do. I'm a mortgage guy. So
I think that's great, because I think as we go through life, we all want to have that guy. We want to have a guy, and especially when we're thinking about mortgage, because that's the largest investment we're going to make as a personal or a family. So we need that guy. So tell me a little bit about how the industry has changed in the last 20 years.
Yeah, so it seems like I started yesterday, but throughout the years, there's been like this roller coaster effect with the mortgage industry and the housing industry. I think there's two things. One is the credit side of things has really kind of changed significantly. In '98, when I first got in the industry, they didn't even have a FICO score. You had to go line by line on every credit portion that you saw, and you had to explain why are you slow, having a slow pay on this line item. But now, after two or 3 years after that, we went into more of a FICO score driven. Everybody had a score on their head, and 700 was like the goal to get to. And then fast forwarding into now where we are today, FICO score is like the most important thing that you're going to have, and the goal now is to get to 740. So anything under 740, you're going to have a little bit of a hit on your interest rate, or maybe mortgage insurance, or even any other type of credit that you apply for. So yeah, I would suggest anybody that's looking for a home or looking to do anything when it requires your credit is really just to analyze it. One of the things I have in my office is a what-if simulator. So if somebody's applying for a mortgage, I'll sit down with them and I'll say, listen, we could actually get you a better rate if we can get your score up by a couple of points, and this is how you do it. So we can pay off a credit card or do something that would help them there. The other thing that I would say that is really changed in the more recent years than anything are just underwriters scrutinizing assets. So let's say that you're buying a house and you move money around from one account to the next. Underwriters are going to want to see where that money's coming from and really source where that money's coming from. The reason for that is just because of the terrorist activity and the fraud that's been so prevalent in the last few years. In fact, we had a situation a year ago where we were actually able to catch $200,000 from a client that was actually going to buy a house, and it was redirected. The money was redirected to Colorado, trying to leave the country. So there's just it's just what the way that things are now, that we have to really kind of watch what we're doing. But that's the reason why assets are scrutinized so much nowadays.
Wow, it's amazing how far we've come in 20 years. What do you do to help your clients through? What's the big advantage of going with the mortgage guy at Avenue Mortgage? Yeah,
so I think with me personally, I like to try to take the education approach. I'm a simple-minded person, so I think in mortgages are so complex.
They are.
That what I really do is I want to have a face-to-face meeting and really build that relationship and actually educate the client on what they can expect throughout the process. Simplifying things, we have a compliance world that is really, really confusing for clients, and it can be overwhelming at times. So there's a big stack of papers that are always sitting over here. I push those aside and I really put one sheet in front of the client and I say, there's two things you really want to know. How much am I coming to closing with, and what's my monthly payment? As long as those two things stay the same or get better, and I always make sure at the closing that that bottom line figure is always going to get lower. That's just how I do it. And then the monthly payment staying the same, you're going to have a happy client at the closing.
That's wonderful. Now, you may be that mortgage guy, but you have a great team behind you. Tell me about your company.
My company is two parts. Avenue Mortgage, which was started by my brother, David Pendley, over 30 years ago. He and my father sat down at the kitchen table, and He said, "Dad, I want to start a mortgage company." And
Wow.
so my dad was such a, he believed in his kids, and he invested in that in the start. And so my brother, a few months later, started becoming so successful, he was able to pay my dad back the investment that he lent him money to get into the business.
Wow, that's great.
And he had created this beautiful company, a small company at the time, with only about 4 or 5 loan officers. And as the years went on with the credit crisis and just the compliance world, he was forced to get bigger. And one of the things that he wanted to do is he wanted to, have capital that backed us. And that capital became CIBM 3 or 4 years ago. And the two things he was looking for when he when he was looking to merge companies was the fact that we could be the same people we were, which is have the platform where we could offer the best rates in the industry and the service. And the second thing is culture. I think a lot of companies, you don't really see that that being a focal point, but I think that actually became the best fit for us, is just to really have a culture that fit our needs. And that's what happened. We met CIBM. We're licensed in 3 or 4 states right now, Wisconsin, Michigan, Indiana, and then also Illinois. So all those states are getting the service, and we have a nice bank that's backing us right now with great products. One of the things that I loved about the merge was not only did we have the other products that we always offered, but we have now construction loans, we have lot loans, we have bridge loans, which are now coming back with all the equity that's coming back in the marketplace. So just a lot of arrows in the quiver to help clients and meet their needs.
That's wonderful. Tell me a little bit, as you look forward to the future, what do you think the next year or two might hold?
I think we're moving into a unique time right now where, for myself, I mean, I own some properties in the area, so seeing that equity come back is actually a breath of fresh air. I live in Naperville Heights, and one of the things I'm recognizing is that there's building that's happening again. In fact, 2 houses went down. I'm in a tear-down community. 2 houses went down like within days of each other behind me. And you don't like to hear hammers banging around on the weekends, but when you know that your equity is coming back, that's a good feeling. So that's actually been a good sign for the industry. We're having a lot of equity that's coming back as far as values and purchasing. I was looking on realtor.com the other day and just looking at all the properties and saw a lot of contingencies, which means that those houses are being sold. So that's a good thing. And then also to see the stock markets in the recent months, it's just going up to record levels. That's a good thing too. So there's money that's coming back in the marketplace. But the other thing with that is that when you do see that, even though it's good, your rates are going to increase a little bit. So you can expect probably rates that are going to increase a little bit, and we're already seeing that right now, but there's still record lows. I think it's a great time for anybody to purchase a home or refinance for that matter.
That's wonderful. And now that we've met you and you're our mortgage guy, we know where we can go to have, whether it be a new home, whether it be a refinance or another home. So
yeah.
Thanks so much for stopping by. We appreciated meeting you and wish you all the success in the world.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks, Liz.
We're going to be right back with more Business Connection. Stay tuned.